Evening and welcome back to NoQuipFootball here on NoQuip Sports, your no funny business source of just football news. You get in, you get out in 5 to 7 minutes or less, and hopefully you pick up some fantasy advice and pick'ems along the way. So folks, this is our postseason, our first video for the Pro Bowl week. We're going to have a couple of different things going on here, but first, let's talk about Passion Project pros and cons. First of all, the pros are you get to do something fun that you really enjoy and that you like, and that also typically means that you have a little bit of extra time to use. The cons, however, are that sometimes other parts of life get in the way, and typically speaking, passion projects are the first thing to kind of get axed, and that's what happened to me this past week during the conference championship week. So apologies for that. However, I am very glad that I was able to get out the predictions video where I actually called both games correctly: the Atlanta Falcons over the Green Bay Packers, and also the New England Patriots over the over the Dallas Cowboys. So that's very exciting. So we got the Super Bowl. My updated Super Bowl picks are both made it. So now we can get into the conference championship game reviews itself. So first of all, let's talk about the Falcons win. It finally happened, people. I've been saying it for like a couple weeks now. I'm sure some of you have gotten annoyed out there with me bashing on Aaron Rodgers and how they don't have a running back situation over there. Well, it finally happened. Not only did he get sacked for a big loss by one finger of an Atlanta Falcon and also the turf monster, he also threw a bunch of picks, and the world finally realized as well that it's hard to win a game on that Packers offense with receivers only and receivers playing those wide receiver positions. Now, having said that, I want to make some injury notes here. They did actually go through about 5 injuries throughout that game, something like that. It was pretty outrageous. So to those guys, I hope they get better, but also at the same time, it helped people finally pick up on what I've been saying, and also what a lot of their big problem has been, which is they haven't had a running back all year long, which changed their game so much so that they had to depend on Aaron Ripkowski, who actually had a nice run but then made a huge fumble, which turned out to be a big problem. So Atlanta played lights out of their minds, whatever quip explanation you want to use there, overused phrases. However, the defense could have been a little bit tighter, and they still executed very well. So I feel good about that win. They did a really nice job of it. They took down the Green Bay Packers, which I, of course, am very happy about just this season. I normally do like the Green Bay Packers, but something about them this year, not a fan. So I'm going to post that video review down below that actually came from the NFL YouTube, so you can check that out too, of the actual play-by-play. So now, on to the Patriots win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. First of all, I finally realized something. It took me a couple of years, but I finally, just today, like before making this video, I realized that Tom Brady has been engaging his inner Gilbert Gottfried during his pre-snap calls all these years. Now, for those of you who do not know who I'm talking about, Gilbert Gottfried is the guy who played the parrot in Aladdin. So you can check that out. I'll put a link to that down below too, so you know exactly who I'm talking about. And then you can go back and listen to the review of the game with the YouTube review. I'll put that in the description down below too, and then you'll hear it. You'll know what I'm saying now. It's pretty hilarious. But anyways, Chris Hogan had a huge day to remember: 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. Julio Jones also had 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'll touch on that again in a minute. And Ben Roethlisberger looked good actually, but his receivers not so good by any means whatsoever. They dropped a ton of key passes, and they just did not do their job as it appeared, from my point of view at least. Le'Veon Bell leaving the game took the steam out of that offense hugely. Now, having said that, D'Angelo Williams is still incredibly effective. You can check out his numbers from the first 2 or 3 games before Le'Veon Bell actually came back, but he did have a pretty good day still, but it was very, very obvious that Le'Veon Bell and his power and running ability was missed in that offense. Next, Tom and the receivers kind of just lit the world on fire, and then towards the third quarter or something like that is right about when LeGarrette Blount really started making his big plays, and he just came through and punished them after getting burned all day long in the backfield with that secondary. Then, you know, there was already a downfall kind of happening to the Steelers, but 4 things happened in a row that really solidified that. The fumble by the receiver, I forget his name at the moment, then the illegal reception, which should have been a touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then they decided to throw a fade on 4th and goal, and that failed miserably. So that was just a terrible play call for starters. And then they get the ball back, and Ben throws an interception, and that's really when everything was just like, okay, they lost. Like, this game is over, and that's the end of it. But getting back to my little comment on Julio Jones and Chris Hogan both getting 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, both having 9 receptions to 12 targets as well, literally all the exact same stats. I just find it funny, one little thing I want to comment on. They do the if you ball, you get the call thing, and I'm pretty sure, I have to go back and check on this, but I'm pretty sure not one Patriot has been called all year long, and it's just super funny to me because in this case, I personally tend to believe that a guy who's like less known, who produces really, really well, is actually more impressive than a guy who you already know should be producing like that well, not like that. That was outstanding for both of them, but a guy who's just so talented already. And Chris Hogan is like the 3rd guy. Julio Jones is the number 1, and I don't know. I just find it funny, a little bit as a Patriots fan, a little bit as a marketing thing, that you can't go and pick up and call ball, get the call for the guy who isn't expected to do it, kind of like an underdog, if you will, among receivers on a particular team. That's just my take on it. I'm going to post all their stats below so you can see that too. I thought it was very interesting. But anyways, for the rest of the week, folks, we have Pro Bowl week. Thursday, we have the skills competition preview. I'm going to do a little video on that, tell you what to expect, because this is still fairly new territory for the NFL as far as I know. Then Saturday, you have the Reese's NCAA College Senior Bowl at Ladd Pebble Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. It's in Alabama. It's at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network for those of you looking to watch it. I'm thinking, I'm kind of back and forth on this one. I'm not sure if I want to do a live reaction to the game, like directly after, or just kind of like a quick review video or something like that. So we'll see as we go. And then Sunday, we have the actual Pro Bowl itself. It's in Orlando, at the Orlando Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN if you're interested in watching that. And I'm still deciding on what I want to do with that as well. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do like a live reaction video or maybe go live for it. I don't know. We haven't gone live for football in a while, so we'll see where that goes. But anyways, folks, while you're all here, thank you all for joining me in all these videos. This season it's been a lot of fun. I hope you all, if you can, subscribe. It'll be in the annotation above my head or the red button down below. There's also a playlist that's going to pop up right here or right here, and you'll be able to check out some other videos that we've done as well. But as always, go football.